All right, everybody, can you hear me? Let's see what we got. Should have our mic good, plugged in. Got volume over here. I threw a live at you because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect to make it. So I just want to jump in and say, first of all, thank you guys so much for the love and support. Let me know if I'm not coming through. I'm sure I should be. I'm not even gonna keep talking unless I know that I can be heard. I am home, yes. So I wanted to update you rather than keeping you up to date in the hospital. Okay, you're good. You guys can hear me. All right, guys. First of all, thank you so much for the love and the support. Yes, I'm back home. That was pretty much a rerun of my very first time into the hospital, where I went, I got MRIs, CAT scans, blood drawn. I had a spinal tap on top of everything, which is my third spinal tap in less than a year. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. What's up, everybody? I love you guys and appreciate you. So where I'm at right now is, unfortunately, there's just really not a lot of answers. I hear a lot that I'm really too young to be having these issues, and that's not really that helpful. So I'm going to describe it to you in the best that I possibly can, so that way everybody is kind of on the same page with me, just in case, because obviously the last thing I want to ever do is go to the hospital. So I'll just be honest, I'm one of those guys. So yeah, so I go to the hospital and I see the same neurologist. I went to the same hospital I've been going to. They've treated me really well. And when I first went, they said I had viral meningitis, which is different because it's a virus and it just inflames the meninges, which is in the back of your head right here by your spinal cord. And that's where the headache comes from and the stiff neck. And so they prescribed me some stuff for me to be able to get off of that, right? No more, you're going to take this, it's going to kill the virus, it's not going to inflame your meninges anymore, which really hurts, by the way. Well, I had the spinal tap that first time. I had all the MRIs. I was in there for maybe 4 or 5 days. This was right before Lori's sentencing, if you remember this, in last year. And then I came home and I pretty much almost had another huge stroke. And I felt it. I felt the whole thing coming. And so I got rushed to the hospital once again. And also on the other side, they gave me the spinal tap because the first one caused so much more damage, and they had seen in my MRI a huge mass on the right side of my head back here. And it was all pressure and blood from the spinal tap. So that was the worst headache I've ever had, worse than the one that put me in the hospital. That was like what I can describe as your brain wanting to pop out of your head. And I'm telling everybody this because if you have any of these symptoms, you need to take care of it way earlier than I did. So this is why we're doing this video on top of, everything else. Especially you live in Arizona and Texas where this stuff can be common. So yeah, while I'm at the hospital, you guys know I gave my victim impact statement for Lori's trial, and I was in that same exact hospital. So this time around, since December, I've had issues. And what I mean by issues is that I'm having numbness go down my right side. So I didn't have any issues with my leg before. All of a sudden, my right leg will go to the point of weakness. Taking a step is harder. Feeling if you've ever had a TIA or a stroke, what happens is your face will go numb and you'll feel like you can't feel it at all, but it's like progressive. It gets worse, worse, worse to the point where your face can drop instantly. So your face looks like this, and then you can't talk, and then your arm goes numb because it's like no blood. And I had never felt it in my leg, but this time since December, I've started to feel it in my leg, my face, and my arm, which is worse because if you've had a TIA, you are more likely to have a real stroke already. You're already way more, your body's already gone through that process. So you're way more at risk. So this time around, I'm asking a lot of questions, and unfortunately, they don't really know. And I would love to come here and tell you guys that I have a update for you that's good. They didn't even have 100% certainty that I have fungal meningitis, which is scary because I've been taking the antifungals at a very high dose since August of last year. So to take antifungals like that, you guys, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm sure I've already told you this, but I really gained a lot of weight from when I was before my stroke. I just started running. If you guys followed Alpha Made's YouTube page where I do fitness stuff, that's where I was fully launching into that because I was going to get more healthy. And I was like 218 or 20 pounds lean. And I kid you not, I have the SMART scale. I started taking the antifungals in a few weeks after my stroke. I had jumped by 10-pound increments. And it's like water just freaking piled up in me. And so I basically don't know exactly what's happening right now. They did ask me this time about complex migraines, which can emulate and simulate a lot of issues. I have a lot of head pressure. So that's number one. I have a lot of head pressure, and that's just in general. So they actually did a pressure test in my spine this time. But they're also saying there's the remnants of the meningitis, which is the fungal infection that is in your head. Now, you guys, if you've been watching the Corey Richards trials with us, you know that Eric's mom died from a fungal infection. Fungal infections in your body are absolutely foreign and will take your life. So, yes, they have checked my thyroid. I've had that checked out. I've had my I'm pre-diabetic, so I have to be even more careful than ever because you just have to be even cleaner and more careful because my family does have a history of diabetes and a history of blood clots. So I'm telling you all this because I want you guys to also take care of yourself, man, and be aware that this stuff will affect you and affect your life. Fresh eval here in Seattle by my new team. Love that. So the meningitis is no joke, right? Meningitis, I did some research and unfortunately I saw some things that maybe scarred me for life. I saw 2 moms, very young, had valley fever, got meningitis, had strokes, had aneurysms, and either died immediately or went into comas. So I'm going to be honest with you. Since last year, I've been just terrified. I don't sleep very well at night. That's already on top of trying to work through trauma. If any of you guys are in trauma therapy, you know how hard it is to sleep in general. But I don't want to lay down flat. I get worried anytime I'm flat. When I was during my MRI, I was terrified that I was going to lose feeling in my body. So yeah, that's where we're at here. Brian asks, a few have asked, do you have a GoFundMe and have you seen a specialist? Sending so much love to you and Kelsey and the Littles. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. So yes, I have neurologists, pulmonologists, infectious disease doctors, and regular PCs. What are they called? Primary care? Yes, PCs. So I've had appointments. Now I'm going to be honest with you. This is where I want to talk a little bit more about how you need to take care of yourself. And this is something I've learned. A lot of times, if they don't see something in the testing, they're going to just say, well, you're good. You're healthy. And I hear this too often. So I just want to make this aware because I'm 29 years old and then I'm in good shape and I go to the gym and I have a lot of muscle and I look healthy and I don't have like the weakness from the stroke long term. I'm looked at, and if they don't see anything in my blood or see anything that's changed in my MRI that's like really concerning, it's like slide off. So I just want to let you know that I kind of feel like I got slid off a little bit this time because I'm like, look, it's not normal to go numb in your right side to that degree. My face, my arm, and my leg. When I was at the gym the other day, that's when I went. And I went because I went to the gym, and at the gym I felt so weak and almost threw up. Just almost threw up. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? And I'm taking these steps and I'm like hobbling on my right leg because it's so weak and it's like there's like no blood flow there. So I have the diagnosis. It says I have valley fever, fungal meningitis, and hemiplegic migraines with stroke-like symptoms. Now, the thing is though, I don't have a solution to any of those things, right? The meningitis, for the first time, by the way, I was told I need to take the antifungals for the rest of my life. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that hit me in the heart because those antifungals suck. You guys saw my lips. Like if you rewind and go back to our videos from around that time and you see me after the hospital, when I came out from, even just from the hospital to like a few months later, I had gained so much weight. You guys could see my lips. You guys were so sweet. I'm still using the stuff you guys sent to the PO box. I'm still using the lip balm and the lip care every day that you guys sent to me, because my lips would rip to shreds if I didn't have this on. Didn't matter what the weather was. It was the meningitis, or the the antifungals. They were literally sucking all the nutrition and any kind of like ability to have my lips stay. And they were ripping, deep rips, not like cuts, like deeply ripping in the night. So that was crazy. So I'm going to have to do a lot more work for myself here to make sure that I get this figured out. I will tell you the common theme is, Colby, you are too young. You're so young and you shouldn't really be having these issues. All right, dog. Well, I am. And you know what? I'm the type of person that really does struggle to go to the hospital. I don't like the hospital. I'm sure you guys agree. I don't like it. I don't want to be in the hospital. So with that being said, the worst part about it is that there really isn't a conclusion there, right? There's some kind of inflammation in my brain. It was above normal for just normal checking your pressure. So when they did my spinal tap, they did a pressure gauge, whatever that means. I know a lot of you guys have suggested the Mayo Clinic. At this point, I am kind of at that point. It's like, just tell me this is what I said to the doctors, because I feel pretty desperate at this point. I said, tell me what you need me to do. Like, just tell me. Because like, I know that stress has a real factor here in your physical health. We've talked about this on the channel. It's a real thing. The way that your mind affects you can give you physical illness, especially stress, your cortisol levels. I've lived in that stress zone for the last 6 years, up and down, right? So I know that that's a factor that could definitely play a part here. But, you know, I've gone to that place like, is this mental? And it's not mental. It's very real. It's very physical. Maybe getting more stressed out makes it worse, but I've considered all options. Like, am I mentally so scared that I'm like putting myself through some kind of medical? It's not possible, because I have the proof that there's something in my head. The problem is, this time around, they said they don't know for a fact that I have meningitis in my head. That was the number one red flag to me, because like I said, I have genuinely taken for almost a year now antifungals at a very high dose, which has a lot of other consequences. It's very harsh on your liver. And I'm just going to say clear, no, I've never had the COVID vaccine or anything like that. So this isn't from some foreign thing. This happened because back in 24, I was working outside every day in Arizona, digging up pipe to where we were working. I was an electrician outside all the time. And I think I picked up valley fever from the dirt outside in Arizona, digging around. So all my construction people, please freaking tie something around your face, bro. It's not worth it. If you're out there every day digging, you're already putting your body through so much, bro. You have to cover your face. I don't care who thinks you're tough or not. If you could put on a Darth Vader mask, do it. So that's my word of advice to all my guys. I don't care if you look stupid or not. This isn't worth it. If I got it like this is not worth it. So forget it. Don't even try to be tough right now. Just forget it. So I'm telling you all this because this is stuff I want you to learn from me. If there's anybody who's going through this or you see this, what is actually crazy is that valley fever itself can be treated not easily. It's very harsh. It can actually take your life, valley fever alone, but it's a lot more manageable because it's in your lungs. You guys remember I told you I have the mass in my lungs. I still haven't had that fixed out. I've just been taking the antifungals because that's just what it is. The antifungals are there and I have to take them because so here's what I was told by the infectious disease doctor, right? You have to split these into categories. So the infectious disease doctor says, when you have it in your lungs, at some point you can stop taking it because then we can see what happens. But if you stop it with your brain, then you'll stroke. Like that's the reason why you have to take the antifungal. So he said, take the same amount for a few years and then maybe lower it to half the dose in a couple years. And I was like, dog, I don't think you like, I know he knows, but like I felt so upset because I said this, but I didn't say it the way I would. But I said, you understand those antifungals are so harsh on my liver, and like I'm already like sunken in eyes. Like I still have a lot of issues from taking these things daily. I feel the effects almost instantaneously in the morning when I take my medicine. And so that's the issue that I'm dealing with, is it's not like the medicine's just doing me good. It's not just keeping it at bay. I will also say this as a precaution: don't even hesitate if you have a numbness in your body, because you have no idea. Doesn't matter right or left. Obviously, we know left is usually like heart issues, possible heart attack. Right side stroke could be the left side. Just don't even F around. Just go to the doctor, go to the hospital, and get checked on, because strokes are not a joke at all. But again, I'm very clear with what I do and take. You guys know that health is a really big part of our lives. And for me, what's added to my stress in my life, as you guys know, has simply been, am I going to make it, man? And I don't want to be dramatic right now or start crying, even if I cry, but like it really does make you think. It makes you think about your life, because you're sitting in that hospital, and I did research on these moms. There's a whole interview. It's on Arizona ABC News, and this mom had exactly what I had, and then she had her stroke, and then she had an aneurysm, and then she went into a coma, and then she was already medically gone. And her husband had to pull the plug. And a lot of you guys have said you've had strokes, so you guys know what I'm talking about. But you live in a constant state of fear with strokes, because with the second anything feels numb, your whole body swells into a panic attack right here in your chest and up and through your face, and you're like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Because there's nothing to stop it. That is the type of fear you live in 24/7 when you have stroke anything, right? You don't know, and I'm sure other of you understand this in other contexts when it comes to other medical issues, but like it's like I'm literally on edge in case the inevitable thing possibly happens. Like if it starts, I can't stop it. I basically just have to survive it. Now, here's the good news. I don't have any brain damage from a stroke. That's amazing. That's everything I needed to hear in that way. I don't have any like brain damage. So when you have a stroke, you have brain damage. You can measure it, that you have damage, because what happens is your brain is missing blood flow for a certain amount of time. It causes brain damage. So that's huge, and that's a great thing, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm still having the same exact symptoms. And let me go over that with you, because some of you, probably people with fibromyalgia, understand brain fog, but my medicine and the TIAs cause brain fog. So if you don't remember, I already am ADHD. You guys know that. We'll be doing our channel. I have to lock in. There's times where I literally, like, especially when I was at my peak right after that stroke, to the point where I couldn't remember what I was doing. I don't know what I was saying. I lost everything mid-conversation. It was hard. That was a hard time, because I genuinely just felt like I don't even know who I am. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know if the complex migraine thing is going to get further revealed by the neurologist. That is something that I didn't even hear. That was on my paperwork after. They were asking me questions, but again, I'm back to square one of, hey, we don't know what you have in your head. And part of that paperwork said hemorrhaging, which is bleeding in your brain, which I don't think I've been bleeding in my brain for over a few years. Now, I do have to go back to one thing though, right? Actually, I'm gonna tell you guys two things in the medical realm here. When I was 8 years old, I wrote about this in my book. If you guys haven't read it, I was hit by a car pretty badly, like front hit by a car. Scariest thing ever. I was riding my friend's BMX bike. It was actually his brother's BMX bike. I went up to the top to my grandma's house, came down, and as I turned, there was no brakes. I'm pressing the brakes as hard as I can. There's nothing happening. So I have to make this quick turn, and there's a brick wall to my left, so I can't see either, and I pull out in front of this Honda. Well, I get hit in the knees front, so my head was supposed to go through that windshield. I turn my body, and I still have all the scars. I'm sure you guys have seen it if I've ever shown you my stupid shoulder. But I somehow impacted the side of my head and this right here. That was like the worst medical thing that I've been through in that way, like a physical injury. And then, I flipped over the car. Unfortunately, there's two little girls in the back of that car that have been traumatized for life over that. Luckily, they came to our house after and they saw me and knew that I didn't die, but I know that the dad didn't. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault. I didn't know how to stop. And I remember thinking, there's a curb in front of me, so if I go forward, I'm going to do a front flip. I should have done the damn front flip. But I literally turned my bike and hit his car because he was coming and he was in the road. It was my fault. But anyway, that was the worst thing medically that's ever happened until, this. But what's so crazy is 2 weeks after Charles was killed, I was in the hospital with appendicitis. And that to me does not feel like a mistake, being honest with you. That timing of that, the stress that was in my body, the way that I was so shocked that everything in me just sunk. And I'll never forget that because that was the first time I'd ever experienced that. And then 2 weeks later, I had to get emergency surgery because my appendix was about to explode. That was still in July of 2019. That is how fast. So I'm very aware of how mental stuff can affect your physical body. But this one, man, I don't know. I was outside working, and this, I have to keep stressing this out. If you are here and you work outside in Arizona in any capacity, throw something over your mouth. It might protect you from valley fever or something worse that you're breathing in. And then if you are married to somebody, talk to them and tell them it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But I got the double pneumonia and this is my fault because I went to, and this is no disrespect to the small little clinics. What are they called? Not the ER room, but the other ones. What the hell are they called? You know what I'm talking about. The little ER rooms that aren't really the actual hospital, whatever they're called. I went there and they gave me medicine for double pneumonia, which I did. And that was the sickest I've ever been in my life. I was on the floor. I was flush. If you guys remember, holy hell, do you know when I got that? Right after I interviewed Lori. That's not normal. That timing, bro. That timing is bad. That was the sickest I've ever been in my life. Anyway, sorry, because I was just thinking when I made this video right here, I made this video that I interviewed her. I was sick as a dog in this video. It was when I said I interviewed Lori because I wanted you guys to know that I was actually going to drop it. And I remember I was sweating before the video and I was super, super sick, but the timing of that is, now that I'm actually going back to that, let me see, it's right here. You guys can, if you can tell how sick I am, it's ridiculous. I look horrible, pale, sweating. That was the valley fever, but I didn't know that, right? Because I was told it was double pneumonia. So I thought that was what it was. Here it is. Well, I'm just gonna get right to it. I was so sick in this video. Come on. Very, very tough. I interviewed her. I'm out of breath. I'm completely out of breath. I'm white as a ghost and breathing hard and everything. Yeah, I was sick. Very sick. Anyway, sorry, I got a little off track there. I was just kind of thinking that because that is insane, the timing of this. So anyway, that's insane. So I interviewed her and then I got the double pneumonia, I want to say. Or maybe I got it right before. No, it would have been after. It would have been after. But I was so sick when I made that video. And I remember it took me a couple weeks to get back, but like, you get rid of it, whatever the case was. Well, that is what we think was the valley fever. And then it went up through my blood, up through my spine, up into my brain, and had an unchecked amount of time. And Yeah, because after I got the valley fever, this is why it's no joke, bro. You guys got to be careful. After I got the valley fever, I'm trying to think of timeline here, so give me 1 second. So after I got the valley fever, it took me, I started being exhausted more often. I felt way more drained. And again, I'm still working outside. It's still 115 degrees. We're digging, you know, I mean, if you know what a commercial electrician does, it's an unbelievable amount of work. And I always give a huge amount of respect to everybody who does anything like that outside all day. It's exhausting. And so, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about that timing. So I just interviewed her and then I got sick. I don't know if that's a coincidence. Anyway, so and then I had the stroke right before her sentencing. What the hell is that? I'm wondering if that's some witchcraft stuff right there or what. Anyway, but yeah, I let it. I didn't go get checked on. See that, and this is the thing I'm gonna say right now. You think you're too tough to go to the doctor, or you don't want to. You don't want to go to the hospital. I agree with you. I will avoid it at all costs. When I was laying on the floor, shaking, this was when I had my. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys a story because I'm gonna out myself here to give you context so you understand how important it is to go to the freaking hospital. Charles had just got killed. I just came back to work and I'm at work and I feel the worst pain in my stomach. By the way, this is in 2019. So give me a second to give you some backstory so you understand what I mean by go to the hospital. I'm in so much pain in my stomach to the point where I can't stand up straight anymore. I'm such an idiot that I kept punching my stomach because I thought I had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? I kept trying to go to the bathroom. I bought prune juice from Walmart thinking I needed to go to the bathroom. Like, this must be cramps. This must be the worst, diarrhea of my life. So I'm trying to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom 30 plus times that day. I counted because it was that much. Nothing happened. And nothing changed. So I go home, I eat, and I'm like, you know what? I got to take a bath or something. I take a bath. After I eat and take a bath, I'm like, man, I feel so much better. Well, I'm good. Like, I'm good now. 30 minutes later, I'm on the ground in a ball, shaking, and Kelsey's like, I don't care what you say, you're going to the damn hospital. Like, you are going. It's not an option here. You're going to the hospital. So I stood up, freaking hunchback in Notre Dame out of the house and went to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, your appendix is about to burst. We're going to do emergency surgery. I tell you that because I wouldn't go all day when I knew there was something really wrong with me. To the point where if I would have stayed home, I would have had my appendix pop and had sepsis, and who knows what would have happened, right? Again, this is just how men, I think, are a lot of times, but people in general really avoid the hospital. I would much rather you go and feel like an idiot and get all the testing done and be okay than stay home and have something really bad happen to you. So it just is what it is. But I've been blessed and fortunate up until this point to not suffer too much from, this whole, medical stuff. And I'm grateful. I'm still grateful because I know it could be worse. I know I'm always going to say that, bro. There's people who are going through way worse things than I am right now. And so I can always put that into context and say, I'm grateful that I'm just not going to be a complainer. I'm just obviously, more than anything, I think I'm just more frustrated that I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm that type of person. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What do I have to do to stop this numbness, right? The leg numbness. So anyway, this last time I went in, I got all the testing done, got my spinal tap, which has a lot of effects after. I felt it throughout my entire right leg, which is already a lot of trauma. It's very traumatic when you've had a stroke. And so what I kind of tried to do is just lay down as much as possible, relax, and take it for what it is. But it just sucks. Yeah, it just sucks. And sometimes I get a little bit down on myself and I'm like, I've been vulnerable with you guys a lot with that whole question. Like, okay, God, what do you want me to do here? What's the purpose of this? And then I always come back and I think about our community in this sense and say, there's got to be something good I can do. And that's hopefully share my story that empowers someone else to continue to make sure they're okay, check on your loved ones, and make sure you take care of yourself. I mean, there's nothing I can do about this, right? There's nothing I can do to stop this. 3 days before this happened, we were doing our streams and I was having these issues and I put it off, which could have led to a really bad stroke, right? I could have easily put myself in more danger by not going to the hospital. Unfortunately, though, like I said, they don't know what's going on with me right now. So I'm going to have to keep working at it until I have a real answer. At this point, they are not 100% positive that they call it coxy is in my head. They just have MRI imaging that there's something in my head. So that's just what's so hard about all of it. So that's where we're at, man. I just wanted you guys to know. Thank you for the love, the prayers, the support. It means everything to me. Being vulnerable with you guys about this stuff matters to me because I just don't want you to, as I go through things, I think it's very important to just show you where I am mentally as well, because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of ups and downs with this kind of thing. And when you feel like your sleep is no longer safe, when you feel like you can't even go work out, or you feel like you're just at risk. And I will tell you something that I never knew was possible. I will tell you this important part. If you struggle with panic attacks, I don't know how in the world I can explain this, but I had about, I don't know, over the especially since August, I've only had one panic attack, and it was the second time that I thought I was having a stroke. I ran into the room because I was sleeping in another bed so that way I could be propped up, because this is exactly where twinkle beds came in. They knew I was sleeping at a really high elevation. And this is why I think twinkle beds is, first of all, amazing mattress. I'm not plugging here. I'm being 1,000% honest. The best mattress I've ever had. And they were so kind because they knew that I was struggling. And so they're like, look, we'd love to give you one of our beds plus the elevating thing so you can put yourself at an angle, because I can't lay flat, like I said. And this is why I absolutely will tell you that twinkle beds is the best bed I've had. And my sleep now is like the most crucial thing. And so I was at this high elevation, like 3 pillows, basically sitting up because the blood flow. I ran out of the room because I felt it, and I like ran through our door to Kelsey and was like almost crying. Like, I'm going to have a stroke. I feel it. It's coming. It's happening. It's happening. Like, please, please, please. Like, cause you're in your head and you're freaking out. So that's the last panic attack I've had. I've had another probably 15, like just now in the hospital, I have about 4 that I felt come up through my chest, and I somehow was able to breathe through it. And I just want you to know, as strong as I felt like I was going to absolutely fall out and cry and freak out, I stopped my panic attacks. And I'm letting you know, it's real. You can manage panic attacks. I didn't even know that was possible. And again, I want there to be no shame or shade or me trying to act like I'm better. I'm telling you because I've had panic attacks my whole life. I've had night terrors my whole life. I've struggled with this stuff. I've struggled with them stuff really bad my whole life. And in the last 3 years, I've learned that I could be literally on the absolute beyond edge. Everything in my body is stings. You feel that your chest is going to burst open because you're having a panic attack. Yes, they're debilitating. If you guys know, they're debilitating. They shut the world down. It's like, the best way I could describe it to somebody who hasn't ever had one is, imagine that you are in one of those caves stuck. That's what it feels like. Like those cave divers that like swim on their stomachs through caves and like barely make it through. That would be what it would be like. Like you're trapped and you have no idea if you're going to make it. That's what it feels like to have a panic attack. It overwhelmingly, you can hyperventilate, you can pass out. It's unreal. But anyway, I've learned to manage them. And I was in the MRI and I'm laying flat, which I told you guys is a trigger for me. Crazy, right? Because I'm scared that I'm going to have my blood stopped flowing the right way. And I'm in the MRI, and I'm like, don't. And I feel it just come up into my chest because I felt my hand go a little numb. And I'm like, don't do it. Don't freak out. So I did it. I stopped it. And it happened 2 more times just in the MRI machine. Because first of all, you're locked in with a chin thing. My chin was against it. I moved my body and they put it down. It's insane. So I just want you to know that there's a way out of your panic attacks. But thank you guys so much for just being such a loving, amazing community. I absolutely love you and appreciate you. Tomorrow I am going to have Corey Richards trial playing here on the channel. I'd love for you guys to be here. If you're watching it, you can be here in our community. We're chatting. If I'm not on the screen, I'm in our chat talking to you guys, seeing what you're doing. And I absolutely have loved being with you guys. So I'll have that up for you guys tomorrow. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for caring so much about my family, myself. It has been a really, 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 really hard 6 years. And for the last a little over a year, basically, we started doing the channel. I want to say back in April 24. We've built an amazing, loving community that supports one another, not just me. And I could not be more grateful for that. I'm going to say something. I'm going to get emotional, but I've had to say it to my family as well. I'm just going to say it to you guys. Thank you for being here for me. If anything does happen to me, I just wanted you to hear that. Thank you, because you don't know what your love and support in this community has been. My biggest wish for this community, if something does happen to me and I'm not here, my biggest wish for this community is that you guys continue to be a community and support each other. I don't know if you're going to do it here, if you need to take it somewhere else altogether, whatever that looks like. But if anything, God forbid, happens, I would rather have said it now than not have said it. So thank you. Your love and support has meant the world to me as I went through the trials and now my health. You guys have been there for me. And yeah, it's not a joke. I mean it, like, absolute bottom of my heart. Thank you for just being in our community and creating this together. Really grateful. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. I love and appreciate you as well. I'm just so blown away by what we have here. I say it all the time, but I mean it. And I just can't explain to you how alone I felt. And I lost my family, and there's a lot of loneliness in that. And our community became like a family. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it just feels so important for me to make things that matter to the world and hopefully help you guys. And if I'm going through pain, I'd rather you know how to navigate something similar than go through what I had to go through. It's kind of like, if I had to crawl on glass so you could walk in meadows, I'll do that because I'm already going through those things. So I'm going to share it with you. So that way, hopefully in your life, if you ever experience these things, you don't have to go through the same things. You can navigate. That's what I think. But I really do appreciate you. And yeah, when I was in the hospital, you know, it's on your mind. And, you know, based off of things I've seen, it happens. And fungal infections can really, really, really hurt and take lives. And so I just don't want it to be, I don't know how to say it because it sounds so dramatic, but I just really, truly want you to know that if it does happen, you guys have surrounded me with love and support and prayers for a very long time before we even made a community. And ever since we've had one, you have been there for me. I'm going to start sobbing on this freaking live, bro. That was not my plan today. Anyway, thank you. I love you. I just needed to take the time to say it to you Damn. I needed you to hear it. Because if it does happen, it's fast. You guys know, if you've lost someone, it's instant. There's no warning. Very few times do you watch someone, go. A lot of times it's very quickly. And it's just things unsaid are not what I want. So this goes for everybody, But thank you. Thank you. The best thing you guys could do is just keep being a community, be there for each other, make continue to create a healthy place on the internet. Because it's brutal. It's brutal to go on the internet these days and see everything, and it's just so much for your head and your brain, and it's so overwhelming, and it's so dark. And it's just like, we have everything: Epstein files, wars, political views, murder, religion, everything under the sun, and everybody's giving their opinion, and it's just right there, and it's just like, it's just so much darkness, and you see the darkness in human beings, and you see the darkness, and when we go through true crime, we see darkness of human beings, and you just can't imagine how people take the lives of their spouses and take the lives of their children, their own spouses, the people that they're the closest to in love. They take their lives, and we can't comprehend that because we're not struggling with those things. But it's so easy to fall, and it's so easy to be sorry for ourselves and for everybody else, and really all we have is our faith. That's it. I want to always leave the fact that there's hope in every situation. Whatever that looks like, there's hope in every situation. I think a lot of times we lose that hope because the world is sucking it away. We don't see a lot of positive things. So I want to leave our community with, to continue to say, we can be that change. We can be the ones that are positive. We don't have to pretend that life isn't hard or pretend that those things don't exist. It's just that, how do you manage that? How do you make your life better and make the people around your life better? That's what matters. So just know you're loved. Just know that you have a place to come. Just know that this community is not just a YouTube channel. You have a real place to be. And yeah, just know that. All right, man. I love you guys. Thank you. Very grateful for you. Thank you.